Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning. Thank you to the committee of the Cirebon International Conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My lesson that I will present today is actualization of nation value in the education system at the Pondok Pesantren IDRISIYAH Tasikmalaya. Indonesia as a nation state has interesting characteristics and is rich in value that live in its society. These values are centrally on of the capital of the establishment of Indonesian nation to become an independent nation within the frameworks of the unitary state of Republic of Indonesia. Of course, this value need to be properly maintained at any time. As the national identity, this national value become attitude and behaviors that are shown to be so by the Indonesian nation in the life of society, nation, and state. The Indonesian state today is tested with a situation that shows that nation value are fading. Issue of love for the motherland, intolerance, with is struggling with a moral crisis in the life of the nation and state, which has resulted in this country being left behind from other country. The work of education is one of the most important places in maintaining its value, so that nation value are developed in Indonesian education. This value include religion, kindness, temporary discipline, hard work, creative, independence, democratic, curious, race, nation spirit, love in the country, and other. This question based on the race's objective. The main question of this study is how is the implementation of the application, the nation value in Pondok Pesantren IDRISIYAH Tasikmalaya to student. This method, this type of research used in this study use a descriptive research method with a qualitative approach. The data collected is in the forms of the tailored information examining the description of the actualization of the application of nation value, draw interview and field studies conducted from the data obtained, an analysis is carried out to get an overview of the implementation of nation value. The important role Pondok Pesantren in educating the nation and life, the road education activities has been clearly recorded in history. From Pondok Pesantren was born nation and warrior. From Pondok Pesantren there were important the road that become figures of the struggle for an independent Indonesia. It is a proof of the extension of Pondok Pesantren in presenting the national value nowadays. Pondok Pesantren is a religion institution that is oriented towards creating Muslim personality with Islamic insight and character of Rahmatan lil Alamin in the development of the Ummah, especially the Jamaah Tarekat Idrisiyah, as Sheikh Al-Akbar Muhammad Daud Dahlan developed the basic concept, namely first inverting the quality of worship by intensifying the function of masjid and pesantren as means of transforming various studies of specific structures and improving the quality of education. By developing various education facilities, even in improving the quality of education periodically, he sent the elected generation to attend studies in various education institutions, but domestically and abroad. And abroad. The actualization of nation value in the Pondok Pesantren environment is not only carried out in the formal education sector through the subject or course taught, but also this actualization carried out in boarding school. It carried in Pondok Pesantren, speech in general. In the formal education, the material is given in accordance with the level of the curriculum related by the government. At the level of basic education, there are in the subject of citizen education, ethical education, and the content of nation value inserted in other subjects. And on several assertion following the agenda and activities of state defense will at the tertiary level dog Pancasila and citizen education. The other actualization value, especially the value of for the country in IDRISIYAH Islamic boarding school in Pesantren IDRISIYAH, are carried out not only by providing the material method above, the pattern of boarding school education, through guidance, habituation, and moral, which is sustainable is very possible because it is a dominatory pattern, so that it can be carried out systematically throughout measurable education program and activities. The formal application of nation value is not carried in national value, but this value have been practiced and carried out reference in the process of application, the attitude and character of the student. Does not stop there in the Ta'lim Majlis program, but for student and congregation tarekat in general, the content of national value is taught even more specifically for example, taught Watania, Sufism, or the study of fikih syasa, with the understanding that in terms of Sufism, to love Allah, the way is to love yourself. Love other and of course also the loving country, so that loving that country is far sometimes that is believed to be a good thing that must always be done. The value of love for the country is a value that cannot be separated from the activities that characterize the fund of pesantren education. Of course, with its own characteristic and characteristic. The story of the history of presidency of the pesantren Idrisiyah of the Tarekat Idrisiyah in Tasikmalaya, the place where the fund of pesantren is local. The figure of Sheikh Al-Akbar Abdul Fattah, who carries this adherence teaching, brings spirit and value not only to ritual, but also brought the imagination and assessment of the Sanusiyah Tarekat in the age of colonial, because was identical with the movement that was opposite to the colonialism and even from colonialism. So far, this reason this tarekat entered Indonesia and changed its name to the Idrisiyah Tarekat. The spirit of struggle with is tarekat entered Indonesia and changed its name of the Idrisiyah Tarekat. The spirit of struggle with is characteristic of this tarekat we can see from the following Mursyid Sheikh Akbar Muhammad Dahlan, who was directly involved in the struggle of the Indonesian nation with the struggle movement in Tasikmalaya, making the boarding school the basic of his struggle, saying the story. It is not surprising that national value, especially the value of love for the country, have always been preserved in the activities and spirit of education in Pesantren Idrisiyah Tasikmalaya. So in conclusion, the inculcation of the national value in the pesantren, in the boarding system in the fund of pesantren Idrisiyah Tasikmalaya is reflective in good education activities for students. This is supported by the value and characteristic of the pesantren and the boarding system implemented by pesantren. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.